Hey, hey, hey. Happy Monday. Listen, I got my earpods in, so I pray y'all can hear me. How y'all feeling? I'm trying to do multiple content at one time. How y'all feeling? I pray y'all doing amazing. I know I haven't did welcome to October. Happy October, right? We're navigating CCC connections, confessions, and with clarity starting the month of October. And I wanted to do a live with y'all real quick. This particular live, it won't be long as always, but of course, the topic we're going to be talking about seeing people clearly, how to recognize projection versus reality. That's what we're about to talk about. Okay, recognize the truth for what it is and not for what we want it to be or what they're trying to project onto us to be. And I'm gonna put a little spin on this conversation simply because this conversation I want to really focus on you maybe experiencing dealing with different relationships and different situations where people have a tendency of project and the veil has been dropped for you, like you see things for what it is, the reality and not the projection and not the potential. Okay, if we all been there, right, where we are in relationships or in connections and we see the potential, we see the what is being projected, what's being pushed onto us, and we have a tendency of keeping the veil on and not seeing what the reality is. And I want to support you in dropping the veil because it's very hard. Okay, as a life and wellness coach, I coach men and women as they are navigating through major life pivotal moments where they are stay grounded and they don't lose themselves in the process of these major life transitions, right? And one of the things where it's hard to remain grounded is when you struggle when the veil is dropped, when you see things for what it is. It's very hard to remain grounded in that process. It's very hard to remain sane. It's very hard to remain positive and embody truth and light in the process. Because when the veil is dropped with certain people, okay, it's hard. It's very hard when the veil is dropped, when you see people's true colors. You're no longer blinded by the love and the like and the your goodness of the intimacy. No, you're no longer blinded by that type of stuff, and you start to see things for what it is. It's a hard process. It's a hard journey, and a lot of us kind of shy away from it. Sometimes a lot of us go into states of um, self. You're not seeing your self value. You're not seeing your self worth. You start to question yourself. You start to doubt yourself. You start to be like, am I worth it? Or, you know, you start to see less of yourself simply because the veil has now been removed. Like you start to be like, am I stupid? Like, was I dumb in a situation to think this person was this and to think that they could be this person or they can amount to this? And now that the veil has dropped, it's just like, am I boo the fool? Types like you really start to be your worst critic when the veil comes off and you see things for what it is. And I want to support you in knowing that you saw what you needed to see at the time that you needed to see it. That doesn't make you stupid. That doesn't make you naive. That doesn't make you dumb. Okay. You were able to see people for who they were and see things for what they were in that type of moment because there was a lesson for you there, right? A lot of us get in a space where when the veil is dropped, when we see things for what it is and we see past the projection, when people try to project onto who they want you to think that they are or who they want you to believe that they are, right? We get into that space as if like we got boo boo the fool written over our forehead. I've been there. I've been there plenty of times where I saw people's projection and I saw how they wanted me to see them. And then the veil started draping off. And then I started to see the truth. And I started to see how selfish they were, how conniving they were, how manipulative they were. And then I was just like, why am I falling for these type of tactics? Why am I falling for this type of individual? Is it something about me? Like we start to have self doubt right? We talk about self-doubt when it comes to professional, right? But we never discuss self-doubt when it comes to relationships, right? We start to question our self-worth and our self-value in the process. And this is why I wanted to talk about this, because I want to support you in knowing that you are worthy. And the reason why you saw or didn't see what you needed to didn't see or whatever, right? The reason why you fell for the manipulation, the reason why you fell for the lies, the reason why you fell for the projection, the reason why you stayed for so long is because you needed to find you. And in doing so, you had to be played. It's a hard truth. A lot of times a lot of times we have this tendency of not wanting to keep it a buck with ourselves, where we be saying we know who we are until we get played. And then we start to be like, who am I? You see why that question comes up when somebody tries to manipulate you in a relationship, and you start to see the manipulation for what it is. You start to see the disrespect, you start to see the narcissistic energy, or you start to see all the projection. And then you be saying to yourself, like, who, why am I settling for this? Why am I accepting this? Like, do you not know who I am? Type, and then you start to find yourself. It takes sometimes for us to go through that in order for us to find our truth. And a lot of us get into the space of like, you don't never say that you're dumb for going through things that you have gone through, because you needed to go through that to get back to who you truly are. Because we do get lost in the sauce. I am the first to tell you, and I may not be the last to tell you, we get lost in the sauce, baby. We get lost in the sauce, and this is why the veil be so thick when we be in relationships, because we be lost. We be so lost in the sauce. We be so in love, and then the intimacy, that that thing be good. Understand? We get lost, and then we get blinded, and we get confused, and then we just be like, "But it's so good." Understand? Until the veil starts to get thin, and it gets thinner, and it gets thinner, and it's not even just with intimate relationships, it be with friendships too. Man, friends can be some manipulative individuals. They really can. They can really play you like a violin, and you think you part of the chorus, and you part of the orchestra, and all along you the broken piece on the side that they trying to play. Truth. Understand? And so it gets you when you experience these moments and you sit in these moments of projection, right? And you start to the veil starts to get thin, and now you just got to sit in reality. It gets you back to you, and that's the good part of the veil dropping. It's painful, yes. Understand, the person that you've been with for so many years, your best friend that you know since childhood, now you see the truth of who they truly are, and it hurts. Baby, I get it. It hurts. And it puts you in a space of doubt. It puts you in a space of question. It puts you in a space of depression, anxiety, loneliness. Like you start, like the thoughts be thoughting. Okay. But it's all for your good. Like you have to go through this sometimes to get back to you. Because a lot of times we get so caught up in the mix. I've been there. I've been so caught up in the mix where it was a time in my life, right? Where clubbing and hanging out with my friends, going out, drinking, smoking, having a good time, being, life of the party type. I got lost in the sauce. And I didn't pay attention to what was really being presented in front of me. I didn't pay attention to how the people I was surrounding myself going out with was really hindering me of progressing and advancing in every other area in my life. Yeah, I was having fun. Understand? Yeah, we was having a good time being out there, enjoying life, right? But then they were keeping me from being grounded. They were keeping me from healing. They were like helping me cope in a sense, right? And so when that veil started to thin and I realized I was the only one who wanted to be better, to do better, and that veil dropped off, it hurt. I was like, I thought we was on all the same type of time, but we was just on the same type of time when it came to partying and when it came to drinking, when it came to smoking, but not to heal. Okay, they didn't want to heal. They liked the life that we were living. They liked the stagnancy. They liked the chaotic. They liked the drama, and I didn't. I was coping, and so the veil had to be removed, and it hurt. I found myself in situations where it was painful, where I was just like, okay, I gotta let these people go, even though these my day ones from little as a kid, and it was painful. I didn't want to see things for what it was. and I had to just accept it for what it truly was. A lot of times when the veil drops, yes, it's necessary, but it's definitely a painful realization. And a lot of people have a hard time and they don't want to admit that. Okay. We are in a time where I see a lot of people talk about the veil dropping, right? And they try to say it all big and bad and bold, right? They try to be in this authoritative energy when they talk about the dropping of the veil. But the realness of it is painful. When you see things, when you got to sit in a reality of how people been mishandling you, it's painful. When you got to sit in the reality of how people mistreated you, disrespect you, it's painful. Okay. You start to gain power in the process of the veil dropping, but you can't shy away from that pain. And you got to be honest with yourself. And if you're going to center yourself in your truth and you're going to ground yourself in Heavenly Father of truth, then you got to be one where you be real with yourself and be like, yeah, the dropping of the veil is necessary, right? But it's painful. It's painful when you see people's true colors. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you feel like, oh, I knew it before, blah, blah. Listen, I saw the red flags before they were even bright red. I saw them where they were a little light pink type situation, and I ignored it. Okay? It doesn't matter. It still hurts when the veil is dropped and you see things for what it is and you see people for what it is. That thing is painful and you have to process that. It's when the veil is dropping, it's not a matter of how the person that you saw the truth for what it is, it has nothing to do with them, it has to do with you. When the rose colored glasses come off, it's now your turn to step into your truth. It has nothing to do with the person that you were blinded with. And maybe that's where the disconnect is. This is why a lot of people, when the rose colored glasses come off, you go into anger. No, don't get angry about it. Please don't get angry for what people showing you who they are. Don't get angry about that. You can be sad about it. Yes. Feel sad. You have a sense of disappointment. Yes. But don't get mad. Don't get angry because at the end of the day, you chose to put them colored glasses on. So you got to take some accountability and some responsibility. Again, it was plenty of situations where I chose to keep the glasses on. I saw it, like, you know how you do your glasses like this and look over them? Yeah, I peeped the red flags years ago, and I decided to push some glasses up and keep pushing. So you got to take accountability and responsibility, but also know that it's okay to grieve. Okay, when the veil drops, it's okay to be in that space of sadness. Just don't be in anger. Don't be in retaliation. Don't be in revenge mode, right? Because then you're moving yourself furthering from grounding yourself. And the objective of the veil dropping is for you to reground yourself, to center yourself, to get back to you. That's the purpose of the veil dropping. This message, this particular live, may not resonate with people because it's a hard truth that a lot of people don't want to really accept. And when the veil is dropping, you have to adapt a level of acceptance and a level of awareness, but also a level of truth. And a lot of people is allergic. You know what I mean? They may need some clarity in a little bit because they is allergic to truth. They're allergic to awareness and they're allergic to acceptance. I don't care how people may portray it. When it comes to the realness of it, when it comes to truth, when the cameras are off, I can guarantee you a lot of people still live in Lululand. They do, right? But I had to talk about because this is some clarity. You need some clarity about the veil dropping. It's not all about the person. It's about you. The veil dropping and what happens after the veil drops has to do with you. It has not to do with it. Yes, it's painful that you have to lose a relationship. It's painful that you have to lose a friendship. It's painful that you saw things for what it was. It is. I ain't gonna hold you. It's painful. But you gotta accept for what it was and move forward into your truth. Move forward. That's the whole purpose. Heavenly Father puts us in positions of veil dropping and rose colored glasses coming off for a reason. And that's because we got too far away from him and we got too far away from ourselves. This is why he allows the veils to drop. This is why he allows the rose colored glasses to fall. It's to come back to him and to center and ground ourselves back to who he created us to be. But a lot of us are looking at the veil dropping and the rose colored glasses aspect, and we're projecting onto the person that we see the true colors of. Nah, they no longer matter because they showed you their truth long ago. You just now taking the glasses off. You're now dropping the veil. It has nothing to do with them. has to do with everything with you. And so now it's your turn. It's your turn to sit in the truth and your turn to process what you have seen, process what you have heard, and accept what you have seen, accept what you have heard, and move forward. And now get back to your truth and authentic self. Get back to your spiritual foundation, ground it, nurture it, fertilize it, right? So you can operate in your highest truth. That is the whole objective of the veil dropping. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Again, this particular segment, this particular episode may not be for you, but it may be for somebody that you know is having a hard time. Send them a message. Share this live with them. Let them know that the veil dropping is for your good. The rose colored glasses coming off. I may change the title. The rose colored glasses coming off is for your good. It's necessary. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be a blessing, yeah, unto others, but know that you're blessed too.